Okay,
Okay.
howdy friars. Yeah, so we are now on, I don't know, demo day 5,271.
Something like
our,
that.
our journey across the wasteland has been eventful. Okay, so basically, yeah, last week I showed you guys the dETH contract. This week I built a component to integrate the profits from the dETH contract into the Fry token. So I wrote a little thing called the Gulper. Essentially, all you have to know about the Gulper is that it takes the fees that are generated by the dETH contract, and it basically buys up Ethereum Fry liquidity on a special balancer pool that we made, and then it permanently locks that away at the 0x01 address, which basically means that the price of Fry increases, the liquidity for Fry increases, and we create a bottom price that Fry will not be able to violate at its current supply. Yeah, so that's working. So what it does basically is whenever somebody either mints dETH or redeems dETH for the underlying ether, a small portion of that goes into the gulper and waits there. Then there's a function that you can call called gulp, and the gulp actually executes this whole process, and whoever calls gulp also gets 0.1% of whatever has been accumulated in the gulper. So yeah, so for those of you who are familiar with the dark forest activity, that's basically just the idea that if you have any sort of a transaction that's openly visible on Ethereum, that there are these bots that
But
monitor
that has
everything
not
that's
yet been
happening.
mined, crucially.
Yeah, but that, sorry, yeah. So everything that gets into the mempool of Ethereum, but has not yet been mined, people have written bots to evaluate those transactions and see that if they were to execute them, or if they were to change the addresses in the parameter fields to their own addresses, if that transaction would still execute and if they'd actually make any money out of that. So yeah, so we've built the gulper such that if enough money starts to accumulate there, basically we can actually just create a very low gas fee transaction, put that into the mempool. We have high confidence that it'll never execute, but these dark forest bots will see it and then execute it for us.
Yeah, and they'll make a little
So
bit of money, and yeah, we don't actually have
yeah,
to spend money, right? Our transaction just fails.
yeah,
So
our
I mean, other
transaction
than
that
right, like the we as the operator, of course, the 1% fee is spent from the
yeah,
gulper. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
the zero, it's 0.1%. Yeah, so we tried to
Okay.
make it as yeah, so theoretically that should be a super efficient way to do things in a very high gas cost environment. Anyway, yeah, so
Okay.
that's basically what we built so far. I am strangely encouraged by the amount of people who are contacting me. We've done no marketing for the dETH contract whatsoever. Two people, I chatted to two people today who just reached out and said they were really interested. They weren't even in the demo day. So yeah, I'm super psyched about that. Oh, and another development for next week, we are also our other Elm dev is going to develop or is already developing a front end for dETH contract, so that we can just more conveniently mint and redeem dETH tokens without having to go through Etherscan and counting on whales to actually do the stuff between there. And then another thing that I'm also discussing with everyone still, so it's not guaranteed, but I'm hopeful that we get there, is that we do some sort of a yield farming for liquidity on the dETH token. So in other words, if you provide, you know, dETH Ether or dETH USDC liquidity, that we can actually give you Fry tokens on a yield farm basis for that. Yeah, that's it for the dETH token for now. Oh, and we're still waiting for the audit details to come back to us.
Yeah. Yeah. We expect that early this next week. So yeah, and then I will go ahead and let's see. Let me get my browser up and share screen. So I'm just going to demo what we have right now for the I don't remember the URL. Let me stop sharing and get that URL. Sorry, folks. I'm going to pause the recording. All right. So is it sharing screen?
Not yet.
How embarrassing. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is where we're at with the SmokeSignal preview, or sorry, the SmokeSignal redesign. Not too much has changed on the surface, I think, since maybe one of the last times we showed. There's some more on the header and the footer, but the new Elm developer has been doing a lot of work on the architecture underlying it. So that's going to get us a lot of wins in terms of speed in the next week. So a lot of this will be snapping together pretty quick, either next week or maybe even over the weekend. And then another change we're packaging with this is that the user won't need to spend DAI anymore. It'll be run on pure Ether. So not only will we have a much better interface that sort of welcomes people to stick around more, it will also be easier to use. You don't need to get DAI, and you don't need to do the whole token unlock approve cycle that you would need to if you're going to use any ERC20 token. So yeah, not sure. Yeah, I don't think too much works as far as hopping around to different topics yet, but yeah, expect that to start happening pretty quick next week. I think that's all I have to really show here. Yeah, anything else either of you two want to mention?
Do you want to talk about the that we'll be moving the posts that are on here now to like a proof of concept link?
Oh yeah,
still links to the previous version.
Yeah, so yeah, we can just talk briefly about that. So basically, just to simplify this particular design update and get it out very quickly, we're thinking what we're going to do is rather than build it to read both versions of the contract, because we need a new version of the contract that only handles Ether and not DAI. So rather than try to handle both versions of the contract, we're just going to have a link on this page that points to the older version of SmokeSignal that uses DAI and allows people still to post and tip and read everything that's there. So we'll probably, and I was thinking further on this, Skulk, I think what we'll do is for this next version, we'll make it fairly prominent somewhere, easy to find. And then as we iterate and as SmokeSignal gets more and more of a body of content, we can sort of hide it more and more behind menus and stuff. It doesn't really need to remain prominent. I think the key, of course, is just to make sure that the SmokeSignal interface always delivers on the promise of once you put something on SmokeSignal, it's always there. But yeah, I think, I mean, there's not much activity on it now. So if this content that's here now is kind of hidden behind a few menu items, I think that'll be okay, especially when there's a lot more activity on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're making a lot of you know, what can I say, code level progress at this point. I think, like you said, I think it'll snap together nicely next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to concur. I think the UI will be moving very quickly over the next week.
Cool. This is running our Elm developer, everybody. The new guy.
Hello.
Cool.
Hello, Rowan.
Yeah. Alrighty. Okay. Well, we'll be seeing that pretty quick. Cool.